What up, gamers? I'm Jason, and today on Dice and Dragons, I'm journeying back into the terrifying world of Nemesis, designed by Adam Kwapinski. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. It is a Polish name and published by Rebel and Awaken Realms. Today we're diving into the Kickstarter stretch goals and the expansions for Nemesis. Now, some of them were also designed by Paweł Samborski. Hopefully I said that right, but really thinking I didn't. So I do know that he worked on the stretch goals, the Aftermath expansion, and the Void Seeders. That's what we're going to be starting with. After that, we'll take a look at the Carnomorph expansion, as well as the Terrain expansion. And then we're going to end the video taking a look at the two books that we got for the campaign, the art book, as well as the second part of the co-op campaign, Untold Stories number 2. So keep it right here, and I'm going to be diving into this stretch goal box in just a moment. Now let's take a look at the stretch goals for Nemesis. We're going to start with Aftermath and Void Seeders. Also, as I mentioned in the intro, we will be taking a look at some of the expansions and other content that did come with the game after we take a look at this box. Now, we're starting out with the Void Seeders. We've got the game manual, which is going to tell us about the game setup. It does look to be like there are some small changes to the setup. We've got an overview of their features, some new rules for the Void Seeders, as well as just some gameplay changes. As you can see, the shower room, clothes items, contamination cards, they all work a little differently with this new enemy type. So let's just move the box over. We'll place the game manual here. And now we'll take a quick look at the expansion manual for Nemesis Aftermath. Now, actually, just before I forget, you'll notice that we do have the Medic. That is an add-on that we selected. In the stretch goal box up in the corner, there was a seal with an M on it over the plastic cellophane wrap that just let us know that we did get the version with the Medic. So if you did get the game, you're wondering why you don't have the Medic, if you don't have the M, that's why. So let's take a look at this expansion manual now. List of game elements, new traits and character overview, just a discussion of the game mode, so that's pretty cool. We have some other Aftermath components. We've got some new rooms, the rules for that. This over here still looks to be like everything related to the characters. We've got the epilogue mode, which is new, and then the research mission mode. So we are getting a fair bit in this expansion in terms of new modes and new ways to play the game. Now, let's take a look at what we've got. So now we did take the add-on of the Medic, and she's already coming out of the cardboard, so I'll just pop her out. So we do get this character. She's the pink one, basic actions. She can make antidotes, tasers, flamethrowers, and Molotov cocktails. Looks like she will be a solid addition. Here we have two other of the new characters. We've got the bounty hunter and the psychologist. So all the same crafting abilities. I thought that they were different, but looks like I was wrong. It'll definitely be, the differences will be in their deck of cards. My apologies. We see the new rooms, some of the new tokens that we do get. Now, we have these tokens here, which I did take a quick sneak peek in the box. And just to get them out of the way, you'll notice that there are 6 tokens missing here. Well, they were added in separately. Not quite sure what they're for, but it looks to, that has something to do with the Void Seeders and probably can be replaced with maybe the Terrain expansion that we did happen to purchase. Now here we've got the CEO, we've got the Android, and I definitely just love the art for the Android. Some more rooms, once again, new tokens. Then lastly, we have, the board's already coming apart. We'll just pop them out right away. So some new tokens in terms of what we're going to be drawing from the bag, the warning levels. I believe these are from the bag. It's been a little while since I've gone Nemesis played. So we've got these tokens right here. It seems to be related to all the different characters. Of course, we have the Void Seeder board, which will explain everything that we need to do to destroy them. And lastly, the new hero, the Convict, who looks like he means business. Now we also have the new expansion board, which I'm not sure how it's included in the game. It's only one-sided, but that's definitely pretty cool. So we'll take a look at that in more detail. Once I actually get into the game, don't worry, there will be review of these stretch goals in this expansion coming in the near future. We'll start with the cards and then we'll move into the miniatures. Now, I don't believe you're going to be able to get everything quite into the main box. I don't believe there's any extra room for the minis. The cards, probably. Haven't really decided how I'm going to store Nemesis, but I need to figure it out. So the card packaging is a little difficult to get to. This one is very tight. I could potentially have used like a box cutter or something, but I'm always worried about damaging the cards. Hence, little teeth, little patience on our viewers' parts, and we still get the job done. I haven't looked at sleeving the cards, but it is something that may happen. So what we've got here is some new crafted items. We've got the starting items for all of our new heroes. Cards are a little stuck together, not that bad though. Very good quality. The new Insanity track, so I'm not sure what that's for. And the Void Seeder related cards. So we'll take a look. So the new weaknesses as to how you're going to scan these enemies and be able to defeat them. Insanity track, I guess these Void Seeders will make us insane. We've got the robot, pot override, ship codes. And that looks to be what we're getting for the CEO. Interesting. Energy weapon, emergency energy cell, deactivation module. So that's cool stuff for the Android. We've got a pistol, Oculoop drone, emotion scanner as well. So this is for the psychologist. Rifle 247. Well, you can actually see them all at the bottom here. I didn't quite notice that originally. So cuffs, pipe, augmented arm. Overall, everything looks pretty cool. Some new crafted items, laser pointer, things like that. Do like what we're getting for the game. Now, this pack of cards actually came separately in the box. I just tossed it into here quickly before going through all the components. Didn't want to lose it. So this looks to be just an explanation of some of the new rooms. Not sure what we'd use this for. We've got a few new event cards. This is all new event cards. I guess they were not included. So Wildfire, Sunburn, draw another comic event card. So this may have to do with the Untold Stories 2 stretch goal that came, because it does seem to talk about different events in the comic book, which is pretty cool. Not something that we saw in the original Untold Stories. I'll open this pack up just because it's easy to get open as well. Now here, we've got the character draft cards. So these are the medic cards that were added into the game because I did decide to pick the medic. So we've just got their set of action cards, abilities, search, rest, demolition, interruption, repairs, computer skills. Pharmacist, heal 1, dress serious wound. That's pretty cool. Field dressing, ER. So definitely some neat stuff that you can do with the medic, and play a great character, especially if you're playing in the campaign mode. Let's see what we have here. We just have another character draft card of the medic. Not sure why we got 2 of them, but could be just an issue with production. So we'll just put all of this together. I thought sliding it back there might work. Doesn't really work. We'll place it with the other cards here. And another tiny pack here, which represents these starting cards for the medic, combat drugs, needle gun, surgery kit. So we've got some pretty cool stuff that we can do with her. We'll just, it's getting a little tight in that spot already with the medic cards. So maybe I'll just split these up for the moment, keep everything nice and neat. So let's see what we've got here. Now, one thing I do like, and I will commend, cellophane packaging, easy to pull and rip open. Great job, Awaken Realms, with this stuff. I wish more companies would follow your lead. So we do have some reference cards for shooter bag development, as well as the Void Seeders. Very cool. Happy to have that. We also have epilogue mode related stuff on the back. Void Seeder related stuff. Very cool. Always love to get some player aids. I'll separate those out. They seem to fit well there. Let's see what we've got here. Lucrative offers, personal requirements. So some of the new goals for the game. Panic cards, which is something new related to the Void Seeders. I'm just trying to get these things unstuck. And then the Void Seeder attack deck. So cards are a little stuck together, but nothing that's like damaging. So Brain Eating, if the character has at least one serious wound, they die. Otherwise, they suffer 2 serious wounds. Wow, that is fairly scary. Dread. The character suffers 1 serious wound, draw and resolve a panic card. All right, these Void Seeders are stuff we really want to avoid. So Panic. Place a fire marker in the room you're in if there is none. So you can go crazy and I guess start damaging the ship, potentially hit other characters. Ripping off the bandages, deal 1 light wound to yourself, and address 1 serious wound. Wow, that's not fun. So Panic is definitely no good. And then Field Trials, you must have a larva miniature on your character board. Collector. So far it looks... There must be at least 1 intruder of any type alive on board the shuttle. Jeez. Send a signal. So these are all the new personal goals. It doesn't seem like there's anything that's really like kill another player. And then 1 lucrative offer. Send the signal and escape with an escape pod with an intruder egg. So maybe we'll get some more lucrative offers as we open up the other packs of cards. And then don't worry, we're going to get to the miniatures. Yeah, definitely opened up quite nicely. So we've got clearly some new character cards, some new traits for our characters. That's pretty cool. Serious wounds, events, alerts, which I don't remember from the other games. And then these look to be specific events related to the Void Seeders. So take a look. Generator overheat, computer system failure, there's a malfunction marker. In any room with a computer, place a malfunction marker in each other room with a computer. Wow, that's pretty terrible. So we've got all of these new nasty events that we're getting. So here are the alerts. So perform and activate action in evacuation section A and in section B during the same game turn. Disarming the bomb. Decontamination procedure. So that's pretty cool. So these cards appear to let you use some specific abilities or on the ship. Now here we got some other nasty events. These look to be could be added into the base game with the Royal Queen, Slimy, Sparks. So definitely have to take a look and see if these are just stretch goals or things that can be easily included into the base game. Maneuver all characters, draw 1 less action card next turn. Ouch, that's a terrible event. So these look to be like different serious rooms. Melted. If your character has a slime marker, each time you pass in the player phase, your character suffers 1 light wound. That's not fun. So trait. You start the game with a body serious wound. As long as your robot has energy markers, this wound is considered as dressed before the game starts. Check the corporate objectives of each player. So we do get these new traits. Appears that they have a good thing and a bad thing. And I believe they're probably optional for the game, but not quite sure. So let's draw out this last deck. We'll slide those cards in. So far I haven't seen any more lucrative offers. And this is looking like it's primarily going to be the action decks for the new characters. Now, the one thing that I do really like about Awaken Realms, as you can see, all action cards, is that they could have done generic cards for like search and a few other things, and this had us mix them in, but I do like the fact that we got individual cards with some great, fantastic card art on them. So different stuff for the CEO, Android, still a lot of the same stuff. Let's just take a look at the ARM tablet. If you're in a room with a computer, you may check the coordinates. That's cool. If you're in a room with a computer, you may check the status of any one engine. Very neat. Reduce item counter by 1. Draw 2 item cards of the same color as the room you're in. pick one, inserts the other. So that's just fairly standard. I wasn't sure if she got anything special. Would you kindly? So choose another character in the room you're in. This character immediately performs either a basic move or shoot action. You choose which action and the target direction. There is no card cost for that action. That's awesome. You get to maybe get some extra attacks if you're working together and you're in trouble. Don't forget the game is really semi-co-op. Sentinel. Play only if Leica is on the Bounty Hunter board. Discard this card to ignore a surprise attack. Well, it'd be great to have my dog with me. I think the Bounty Hunter might actually become my new favorite character. So lots of cool stuff that we get here. Now there is the timer. Not quite sure what it's for. Sure, I'll find out when I actually go through the rule book. We'll take a look at the enemies first. Here's what we got, what looks like the Void Cedar Queen, and there's no base for it. I thought there might be a base for it, but it does stand very well by itself, so it definitely does not need a base. Probably a lot less fragile this way. And underneath, just because I'm going to put this back, and it does feel delicate, so I'm not sure about getting rid of the vacuum form stuff. We've got Leica, the bounty hunter's dog, who is hiding underneath the terrifying alien queen. Now, he was stuck in there. Yeah, you got to give it a little bit of a push to slide it back in. We'll just carefully put the character back. And at the same time, let's take out one of the other Void Seeders. You know what? This is very delicate, which is something that I like and I don't like. Let's take a look at the other stuff and I'll figure out how to put it back afterwards. So here we've got another one of the Void Seeders. Looks to be more like one of the warriors. I definitely like the look of the mini. There's plenty of detail. I love the fact that the base of the miniature is detailed as well. You also get some terrain, some turrets and guns. Hopefully we can use that in our favor to defeat these Void Seeders, especially if there's a possibility of us going completely insane. We do have these new terrains, so I guess they weren't part of the terrain add-on. We'll take a look at this one though. As you just notice, there's some slight differences to the details on this mini that there was on the other one. So just a little way to add variety, not too much difference, rather than trying out what's under there. Here we've got what looks to be like a Void Seeder nest or egg. It is rounded out. That's kind of cool. And good detail as well. If you're going to be painting them, I'm sure it looks fantastic. I bet it looks really great with the sun drop on it as well. That's just something I unfortunately couldn't opt for. Here we've got some more Void Seeders. Definitely creepy looking, especially with these blades that looks like they're going to eviscerate us. Try to put them back. There's another turret underneath. Another turret underneath there. So another Void Seeder. Pretty much the same model, I believe, as the one I just showed you. So there is just some slight differences to the models to give you a little bit of variety, but nothing underneath. It's a little tricky to get back in. I do not want to damage it. So just be careful when you're putting the stuff back. Yeah, not the easiest to get in and out, but nothing underneath. Similar model once again, just a few slight differences for all of these Void Seeders. So we'll push that back. Let's take a look at the heroes. So here we've got what looks to be the android with her arm tablet. Now, great details on the base. For her face, it seems a little tricky to tell, but still cool mini. We've got the medic. She's got her own plastic base that it comes with, I guess because it wasn't included in the base game. Nice miniature, plenty of detail. Once again, facial features are a little bit difficult to see. I don't paint, doesn't affect me that much. So here we've got the bounty hunter, and definitely don't like the detail right there. The back of the character with all of the little things he's got on it, but the center looks a little bland, but we do get to clearly see his gun. Here we've got our psychologist, who I think is definitely a fairly cool miniature, even though it's very simple. I do just sort of like the idea of this woman in a psychologist business suit type thing stuck on the ship. We've got the old CEO with his robot helper. I like the look of it with the coat. Definitely feels like a futuristic guy with a lot of money and definitely fairly eccentric. I mean, you are looking to deal with highly dangerous alien life forms that could destroy the human race. And then lastly, we've got the convict. He's looking rough. He's got his enhanced arm, which shows is different than the other one. Great detail on it. Once again, not the best facial features. Love the way they've done the bases, though. No complaints about the minis in this expansion. So let me now try to get this Void Eater back in. I do feel like it was just kind of sitting there like that. So that's where we'll leave it. Gonna get everything boxed up. These nice notches will help you put everything back. I do like here we've got a slot for all of the new components so that you can keep this separate from the base game. Well, since these popped out already, you know what? Let's slide them in there. The medic is sticking out right here. So we'll just get that stuff placed where it belongs. Get us all boxed up. Put the board on the top. And there you have it. We've taken a look at what we have in the box for the stretch goals of Nemesis. Now we're going to come at you with 2 of the expansions. Then we'll take a quick look at the art book and Untold Stories number 2. Keep right here as I'll be right back. Now for this section, we're going to take a look at the Carnomorph expansion and the Terrain expansion. You may be wondering why I'm doing this at the same time. Well, the Terrain expansion is a nice small one. I'm definitely going to try to find a way to potentially repackage this, but let's take a look at what we've got. And we got 2 trays, 2 levels of minis. Trying to get this out. So here we've got what looks to be some alien growth type stuff. There is no instructions for the Terrain expansion. Now, I believe this might have something to do with one of the expansions. Oh, we've got some plastic from the molding that's clearly just stuck on it here. As you can see, we'll just get that off. So, very cool miniature, lots of detail. Not quite sure how to include it in the game as of yet. It has been, like I said, a little while since I played Nemesis, and it doesn't feel like it wants to go back in its spot easily, but it doesn't feel very fragile. This is definitely something that could be repackaged. It really looks like we've got a few different dead bodies, some for each of our heroes almost, so if they do die or you want to use one of them as a dead body at the start of the game, there might be one specifically in there for that, but very cool. Love the details on them, and definitely something that I feel will add a lot of atmosphere to the game. I just have to remember which one was which with regards to getting them back in there. So yeah, this is not the easiest to put back together. You know what? I'll take a look at that after. Let's move on. So we've got another defeated character sitting in a chair. I do feel like this is definitely maybe some characters from the game or specific terrain that you can use. Here we just have some fallen heroes. So lots of dead bodies. Something that can definitely happen fairly easily in a game of Nemesis. So those ones fit well. These ones far less so. Oh, unless I'm putting it back wrong because it's supposed to be... that's what I was doing wrong. They fit like that. All right, so let's top it back up. Let's see what we got here. We got what looks to be just escape pods. Hold 2 players. Show them locked, show them unlocked. Thick plastic. Nice, cool addition. Then here, of course, we've got the different doors. I do love the fact that they've got the alien scratch marks through them. I think that these are also a nice addition to the game. And all the doors are a little different. We won't go through all of them. And I do like how there's battle damage on each. Let's just see. So yeah, it looks like these 4 are the same. Oh, this one looks like this one. Yeah, it looks like there's really only 2 models that we get. So there you have it. That's what you get in the terrain expansion. Not necessarily something that's essential for the game, but something that provides a nice little bit of flavor for it. Let's get that out of the way. We're going to slide this up here. Let's take a look at what we've got in the Carnomorph expansion. So we do have the new rules for the Carnomorphs. Setup changes a bit. There's some new game elements. Character cards, so the mutations are something that's new. Then the Carnomorph rules. Gameplay rules for the new event phase. And looks like the contamination check is slightly different. Nice rules summary on the back. I wonder if this is compatible with the epilogue mode. So we just get one set of punch outs, so some new warnings, a new Carnomorph board, and then what looks to be some new tokens. Maybe these are replaced by some of the terrain. We'll just put that over here, slide this over. Take a look at what we've got. Oh, we definitely have a solid variety of miniatures in here. That one just fits in here a little oddly. So here we have, pop this out, we've got Carnomorph adaptation cards. So that's pretty cool in terms of making the game more difficult. I'm not sure that I like the idea of having stronger enemies. Now, we've got their cards. I'm guessing this is just going to be events and attack decks related to the Carnomorphs. So once again, some nice reference cards. Always a great addition to the game. Rampant mutation, I guess you can turn into a Carnomorph. So that's kind of terrifying. And we've got what is divided into Carnomorph attack cards. We have character mutation cards. And then the new event cards. I do like how the art for the event cards is different. Helps keep them separate. I'm not sure if you would be mixing any of them together in the game. So mutation stalking, move all shamblers, flesh beats, and the butcher to any neighboring room with a character. There are several rooms possible. Move the Carnomorph to the room with the lowest number. Wow, making them move is definitely terrifying. Emergency protocol failure. Remove the escape pod, so we can lose an escape pod. I'm not even going to read the rest of that. That's just terrifying. So we'll move on past the events. So we'll see these mutations. Discard an intruder carcass or intruder egg from the room you are in. Deal 1 serious wound or all light wounds. Then draw 2 action cards so you can actually eat. If you're infected, you can eat the enemies. That's new. Discard an intruder carcass or intruder egg from the room you're in to draw 2 action cards. Mimicry. So you can use during the intruder attack step if you're about to be attacked. Choose the target of the attack. If you're alone in the room, cancel the attack so they think you're one of them. So that's cool. It's really going to add something extra to the game. Not sure how cool it's going to be. Adaptation, that looks just pretty neat. Also terrifying. Slash, the character suffers 1 light wound and gets 1 contamination card. So some of the stuff that we've seen in other games looks like maybe there's an extra action with some of the symbols here. You're triggering different. Well, it looks like pretty much every card here triggers both types of enemies. So I would expect this to be a much more challenging game. Now, I'm not sure which type is which, as I haven't gone through the rule book. But we'll take a quick look at the minis. I'm not sure I can call them miniatures at this point. This Carnomorph looks very terrifying. Love the basing on it. Looks like it's giving me the finger almost, but also something that you would not want to run into. So everything's solid with this one. Doesn't seem to be too fragile, but want to just be careful putting it back. So we've got 3 of those guys here. I'm guessing this is the butcher. Maybe not. We don't get a queen this time. We get the butcher. Definitely well in there, and I do like that. Parts on the back aren't that fragile. The tail definitely is a little bit. You've got a lot of detail on the face. Kind of terrifying. It only has 1 arm but 2 heads, so Cool miniature. Definitely do not want to run into this thing on the ship. My characters will be running away in terror. We've got little guys. So far, both of these minis do look the same. Some slight, no, there really are some very minor differences, but they don't fit too well in this spot, unfortunately. I'm not going to dig out the ones underneath, but as you can see, we do get a few of them. Here we've got what looks to be more like our standard warriors and these crazy misshapen carnomorphs. Utterly terrifying. And it does look like we have potentially two different models, kind of like what we have in the Nemesis base game. These ones do feel a little fragile, but not overly fragile. Looks fairly similar, so maybe I did grab the same model. Actually, when I'm looking at all of them, they do seem to be very similar. So I believe we only got one type with this game. So we've taken a look at everything that is in the Carnomorph box. We're going to just pack it all back up. And then we're going to take a quick look at the art book as well as Untold Stories 2. And then we'll be done taking a look at all of this great Nemesis stretch goal content. Keep it right here. I'll be right back. Now we're just going to take a quick look at the Nemesis art book and the Untold Stories 2 comic. So we're going to start with the art book. Mine actually dropped, which is why it's a little dinged right there, unfortunately. But I will be contacting Awaken Realms for a new one. While the art in the book is quite beautiful, you'll see a lot of my pages were actually stuck together. And it was prying them apart, even though it was fairly easy that I ended up dropping the book. So that is just a little bit of a disappointment. You do get a lot of art, but definitely not everything that we see on the cards. Looks to be pretty much the most famous or iconic shots that they chose. Now when we're looking at this co-op campaign, the comic book co-op campaign, so it does appear to be a completely different story from the first one. I've browsed through it and I don't believe that they're necessarily compatible. Each of these is their own campaign. And you go through it, follow different events. Do you love how the comic book provides a narrative as to what's going on the ship? So those are two other nice extras that you get with the game. Definitely something that I do like about Nemesis. So with that being said, I'm going to come back at you with our outro and then keep it right here. In a little, well, not a little bit, in a few weeks, you'll probably see our review of at least one of these expansions. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you like what you saw, don't forget to click that like button, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that YouTube will make sure you're in the know as to when our next video is released. Also, down below in the video description, we have links to all of our social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You want to see pictures of us playing Nemesis? Well, they'll be there when we finally get to the game, hopefully, which will be just in a few weeks. You can also see some pics as to some other games that we're playing as well. And don't forget, popping up in just a few seconds or right about now will be links to two other videos, probably our most recent content, as well as to our original review and how to play of Nemesis, the base game. So check those out if you feel like it. And don't forget, keep playing games.